Hello, my name is Robert Simon. I'm glad to be bringing you word today. So, I just want to say something briefly. You know, for years the church had been spoken to. For years the church was warned. For years apostolic word came from apostolic centers concerning what God will have the church do. But we never listened. We stayed stuck to the things we were doing. Those were the things producing results for us. We failed to understand that a season like this was going to come. We didn't want to listen. We didn't want to hear anything that was going to challenge the platform upon which our dynasty was built, or the platform upon which our churches or our ministries had gained prominence. We did not want to make the shift. Now we are forced to make the shift, and we do not have an option. We are forced now to make the shift. You see, churches have moved. Church has moved from the four walls out of the four walls. Now you can't do anything about it. We can't do anything about it. We are now forced to make that move that we should have made long ago. We're forced to make that move. I just want to say to you that if you're just waiting, you're beating time and you're waiting for this season to pass so that we can go back to church as usual, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. If you go back to church as usual, you'll be faced with harsh realities. It is the time for us that, since we are forced now to go to the things that we've been warned about, the things we've been told about, the things we've been told that God will have us do, move the church out of the four walls. I'm not saying we should not meet within the four walls. I'm saying that we've been told for ages to move church out of the four walls. In fact, then when we used to say these things, we were called social media pastors. These are the guys who don't have branches everywhere and don't have plenty members. So, you see, they're trying to tell everybody what to do. But you see, now we are all forced to use the social media. And this is not me coming out to say, I hate to say, I told you so. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm actually saying this. I'm actually saying what we ought to be doing right now. We are now forced to use the platforms. Okay, let's use the platforms. But beyond this season, we must begin to see where the world is going. And we don't have to wait for the world to go ahead this time. I mean, we've always been playing catch up with everything. We've always been trying to catch up with where they are. Now is not the time for us to catch up. This is an opportunity for us to reset, meet up with where they are. And this is an opportunity for us to be ahead of the world, not to try to play catch up in the seasons to come again. Right now we have the opportunity. Right now we are already, I would say to a degree, we are on the platforms where they all are. We are all forced to be on the platforms. But in the seasons to come, a lot of things will change. So a church is not going to be as usual. It's not going to be church as usual. It's not going to be what you used to know. It's going to be a completely different thing right now. That's what I'm trying to say to you. It's going to be a completely different thing going forward. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So now that we are all using these platforms, now that we are fathers are now forced to be the pastors of their children, and mothers are now forced to be the assistant pastors, and children are now under the spiritual leadership of their parents at home. That's what church basically is right now. And then we are now all forced to watch our part. The only way we can get close to our pastors now is social media. Now that we are there, what is the world going to be like? How are we planning now for what the world will be after this season is over? How are we planning for what church should be after this season? We have now been forced beyond the four walls. How are we going to maintain this? How are we going to advance it even further? Because if you are just waiting for everything to end so that you can go back to church as usual, then you might have missed a lot of things. We are forced to take church beyond the four walls, and I bet you, believe me, it is doing a lot of good. We can't go back to church as usual, and I'm not saying we can't gather within the four walls of the church anymore. That's not what I am saying. I am saying that we cannot restrict church to the four walls. We must now we have taken the church beyond four walls because we are forced to. Now going forward after this season, we must now be able to chart a new course for the church. We must now be able to chart new territories, to advance into new territories and take systems of the world. It's not time for us to sit down and wait and plan to go back to church as usual. It's time for us to plan for the church, the unusual church unusual. That's what I bring to you today. Until next time, God bless.